Welcome back, gang. As you can see, I've got a bunch of things that I'm recently adding to the collection. Most of them are world-building items that I've been wanting to add to various shelf displays, but I also decided to go on a toy hunt and check out Ross. There have been a bunch of photos online of different pickups and sightings, so kind of wanted to test the waters and see what I could find. I usually do not have a good time at Ross, and it's a very chaotic place that just always has like people running around. The stock is kind of like iffy, like it's always a mess. You can see one of my cards back there is completely damaged. It's just not an organized or calm place. So I try to stay away, but I couldn't resist going to find some cheap figures because as somebody who likes to make customs, I'm always looking for cheap fodder and just parts in general. So very happy with what I found. And yeah, with that being said, let's take a closer look at all the stuff I've recently picked up. And first up, we have Cassian Andor from the Andor series, which I found at Ross for $3.99, which is a pretty good deal considering this figure came out not too long ago, and it was $17 when it originally came out, which, they've been increasing the price of figures, which, not anything we can really control sometimes, but $3.99 is a fantastic deal, especially when I want extras of these for customs like I mentioned earlier. The funny thing is you can actually see here on this Ross label that they have it at a comparable value of $12, which is not the actual retail price. Also, man, just take a look at the things you find at Ross. This has been through quite a bit. Who knows if this was like, a customer just throwing this thing around or what. But, of course, I will be ripping this off the bubble and pretty much making a custom out of him later. But taking a look at what we got here, I wanted to show some of these figures that I've made customs out of and some ideas that I also have. So for starters, the legs on this figure are fantastic. And Hasbro even went out of their way to reuse them and get us Velkin Taziri, which was, some really smart retooling there. So nice stuff. Originally, when this figure came out, I did buy an extra because I kind of wanted to see if the legs would work for one of my needs, which was making a updated Klatooinian Raider with better articulation. And here you can see that figure, which I also have a video showing how I did this, so be sure to check that out. But yeah, I basically just want to make some more aliens or something like that. And I took the legs for that figure, put them on this Klatooinian Raider upper body, and it worked out pretty well. And then just used the leftovers to make this kind of other random alien Klatoonian. This one's a 3D printed head that I painted up myself, but here you can see the Cassian jacket, and yeah, this is actually another Cassian Andor jacket from Rogue One, but I used the arms to make like, a shorter leather jacket and then just utilize the old swivel legs. So a very simple kit bash there, and these are the kind of things that you can do with like extra fodder. So an idea I have is that I really think Hasbro should consider using those legs to update the Andor Trooper. I would love an all-new version, and I still think they should do that with the green jumpsuit guy. But taking a look at this figure, very similar legs in my opinion. Let's bring in Velkin Taziri. I think I can get away with, swapping legs, maybe try to repaint them to match the Andor Trooper. And that's just an idea I've had for upgrading one of these figures because, man, it is definitely a shame that we don't have a single Rebel Trooper with ball-jointed hips. What is the deal with that, Hasbro? Come on, let's update some of those figures for our collection. But yeah, Cassian Andor for $3.99, not a bad deal whatsoever. And moving right along, we have my next pickup during my toy hunt at Ross, and it is the Micro Galaxy Squadron Havoc Marauder, a really neat ship. I've picked up another vehicle from this line, which was the AT-AT. Definitely really like that. That's a very cool vehicle. And I pretty much got this because I kind of want to have it in the background of some of my toy photography. It's easier to, manipulate that line of sight and just like perspective, having these smaller ships back there versus, having a full on, giant ship back there. And, space is always kind of an issue. So it's a little easier. Also, like, Star Wars really has a lot of vehicles. And unfortunately, we're not seeing quite as many as we'd like to see in the vintage collection. And yeah, especially the Bad Batch Season 3 is on right now. We only have one character from Clone Force 99 in the vintage collection. So kind of, fulfilling that need for some more Bad Batch in my life. So really looking forward to this vehicle. Can't wait to open it up. Hopefully have it in the background one day of a shot with all of Clone Force 99. So really cool stuff. This one was for $16.99, originally $34. So a pretty decent deal. And yeah, these things are a little pricey, but I kind of really like them. I've been eyeing the Republic gunships recently, and I think that'll be my next acquisition for this line. So pretty cool stuff if you haven't checked these out. And taking a quick look at the back of the box, you can see a lot of different vehicles that this line offers. You can also see some of the play features that, this vehicle has in terms of its articulation and little compartments. And all in all, I can't say enough good things about these vehicles. They're definitely pretty neat. And lastly, taking a look at the vehicle out of the packaging, it is a really nice display piece, and there's just something about a Star Wars vehicle. Also, pretty happy to finally have Recker and Omega in my collection. Actually, not really, because they're not the right scale, so fingers crossed we see these figures in TVC someday. But taking a look at the vehicle again, it's got some really nice detail and sculpting scattered throughout. You got that nice texture here that you see on, like TIE fighters and stuff. So really good. It's got this nice landing gear that you can, put back into non-landing position, which is pretty neat. And then, of course, the wings articulate into that attack mode position. So pretty cool stuff there. You can see some pretty sloppy paintwork here, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to scrape that off on an X-Acto or something. The red translucent plastic's really nice, and then you do have a functional cockpit area here where you can put some figures in. So that's pretty cool. The cannons and just greeblies on this vehicle have some really nice detail, so pretty good stuff. And then, of course, you got more red translucent plastic back here in the rear gunner area. That opens up. You can put a figure in there. Cannon swivels side to side. Fortunately, it doesn't go up and down. And then you have some nice paint application back here on the thruster area. So all in all, a pretty good addition to my collection. And yeah, this would make a fantastic TVC vehicle. Hopefully one day we see something like this. Probably would have to be a HasLab, but yeah, I really want some more Bad Batch things in the vintage collection. But yeah, in the meantime, this will have to do. And finishing off my Ross pickups is a Hammond collection item, which I don't show many non-Star Wars things here, but I do collect quite a decent amount of this stuff. I really like dinosaurs, and also I just really appreciate the Beast articulation that they have going on here. It's something that we're not seeing too much in the vintage collection, but hopefully one day soon, maybe a blurrg of this similar caliber would be nice. So something to hope for in the near future, maybe. But anywho, definitely a fan of this figure. It was $5.99, which is a really good price for, something like this. And there was definitely quite a few of them. There was about 10 of these. So I already had 2, and I was like, for that price, I kind of can't leave this here. So maybe I'll try to repaint it and make it look a little different. But yeah, a very cool figure if you're only just now seeing some of this stuff. It's got some really good articulation on its head, multiple points, the arms move around. Got leg articulation here. I think some of the Hammond collection stuff that's come out more recently has a little bit of a improved leg and ankle articulation, in my personal opinion, but this guy's pretty great. I mean, take a look at him. He's very top heavy, but yet still stands pretty decently. So really, really cool stuff. He's also got kind of like a rubbery tail, so it can move around and be repositioned. So yeah, if you're looking for some beasts to add to your collection or world building, you want to make these kind of like a sci-fi dinosaur thing, definitely go pick these up. They're out there, and yeah, I can't say enough good things about this kind of beast. And moving right along, we have some world building items that I've been wanting to add to my shelf displays. And what better to add than the classic Tatooine Moisture Evaporator. And here we have 2 that I picked up online as a set. One of them is from the Lars Homestead playset. The other one is from the 30th anniversary collection with Luke Skywalker. Both are pretty much the same accessory piece, except you can see there's some minor differences in their paint, deco, and application. And then we have the one in the middle, which is actually one from my personal collection that I repainted to give it a bit more of a screen accurate look. So taking a look at the one from the Lars Homestead, yeah, it's just got this very not good looking, kind of gold color to it. I really can't stand it. If you compare it to the 30th anniversary collection one, this is a bit of an upgrade. It's not, as big of an eyesore in my opinion, but it still has a bit of that weird metallic look here. It just doesn't look like what you saw on screen. Whereas mine is repainted white and then weathered correctly, because that's pretty much what you saw on screen. It's actually white with a lot of different dust and build up all over it. So I'm definitely looking to paint all of these and make them more screen accurate. If that's something that you want me to make a tutorial video about, please leave a comment down below, and I'll definitely consider doing that because I think it's a pretty fun repaint. And yeah, who doesn't want this to look more like the thing you saw on screen? So pretty cool stuff. I definitely want these for my shelf displays, but also for toy photography because, you know, we're seeing them a lot in The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, and these are just such a classic thing that you saw in Star Wars. So definitely wanted to pick up more of these. And next up, we have these really cool world building accessories that I recently got from a seller on eBay, and I will have linked in the description down below. But here you can see a series of banners that are going to make a great addition to specifically my Imperial display with this fantastic Admiral Thrawn that we got recently in the vintage collection. We have a series of Imperial, Chimera, and 7th Fleet banners that are just absolutely to die for, and I have to thank my friend Tyler from SWTVC for putting me onto this seller. Really cool stuff. We also had this Jedi Order one, which I plan to use for a really cool diorama that I might show how I build it in the near future, but definitely be on the lookout for that, and I'm very excited for that idea. But taking a look at these, they're really cool. They have these little hole punched areas which you can actually put a kind of like a ring on it, so you can hang it from like a banner or a pole. So that's very cool, and a really nice print, to be honest. If I get this to focus, it's pretty crisp, nice stuff here. The back is like this faux leather material, so it's pretty durable in my opinion. And yeah, it's got a nice, like, very flat satin finish to it, and this is just going to look fantastic when it's hanging up with a bunch of Imperial troops displayed. So once again, very grateful to add these to the collection. And yeah, I definitely highly recommend these for any type of Imperial display, or even just putting them with your Admiral Thrawn or just the Night Troopers from Ahsoka that we're going to see in the future. And moving right along, we have the 2006 Saga Collection Rogue 2 Snowspeeder, which is a must-have for any Hoth display. The first thing that I noticed about this vehicle is that it's actually a slightly larger scope than the one that was in the Legacy Collection and later Vintage Collection. So a little different there, and the main thing to point out is that the landing gear is definitely not the best here. They really improved upon that. You can see it kind of just like dangles there, and then you just kind of keep it in place with this little sliding piece right there. So really nice that they improved upon that, because I think that's not a nice looking feature there. But the main reason to get this vehicle is that it has the classic red markings, so that's mainly why I wanted to add it to my collection. It was also open, didn't include the figure, but that figure is also very outdated, so no problems not getting that one. And yeah, like I said, I mostly wanted the red coloring. It's got some pretty good little articulation here on the flaps. You can see some mechanical pieces in there, and like I said, the main thing is the markings, which look pretty good. You can see the back has some nice sculpting as well. You got the little firing cannon back here for the harpoon. They did later improve that, and you can actually swap this out for an actual harpoon shooting kind of gun version. So pretty cool. Moving along, some more paint deco throughout. You can see like battle damage and just like little sprinklings here and there. This flap also works as well, and yeah, moving along, not too much else to see here, just lots of different paint hits all throughout. The cockpit is definitely not quite as nice here. They pretty much gave you a chair for the two pilot and the gunner, and not much in the control panel area, which was much more improved in the later version. Also, this one closes, but I think it's a much more snug fit later when they like kind of retooled this, so not too bad. Cannons can kind of like be removed, so don't really want to lose those. And yeah, like I said, mostly wanted this to have another one added to the collection. I recently got that other AT-AT, and my Imperial forces are starting to take over, so I needed some more snowspeeders to help fight them back. But yeah, a very good looking snowspeeder, and pretty happy to add this one to the collection. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you already have this one, or if I should, review some of the other ones. But yeah, not too bad. And finishing off my recent pickups are these magnificent floodlights from Play Mobile. I've been wanting to add these to my collection for quite some time, and anytime I would check their website, they're always sold out. And recently I've been thinking about taking a lot more pictures of vintage collection vehicles and just hangar bay shots in general, and these would of course be absolutely perfect for those types of photos. So I took a chance, checked their website, they were there, so I definitely pulled the trigger and got a couple of these for my shelf displays. So they're about $20 per light, which is, a little pricey, but totally worth it in my opinion. They're battery operated, and so far the LED seems like it's pretty strong and it'll hold for quite some time. So definitely a great addition. I'm really liking these on my shelves, and I highly recommend them. But taking a closer look at the battery pack, here you can see it takes 3 AA batteries, and you can just open it here with that screw. And the nice thing is that you can actually attach more than one light to a battery source. So that's kind of cool if you're trying to manage space and stuff. And then if you take a look at the light itself, it is pretty much a build-a-light. This 3 sections of pull snap in together, which you can then put into the base here. And then the light itself is on this articulated arm. So that's pretty cool that you can get different angles out of it. And then it's got a switch here, which pretty much just turns the light on. So yeah, this is a really neat addition to any kind of Star Wars hangar bay collection or something like that. So yeah, like I said, I can't say enough good things about these. They really help your displays in my opinion. I hope you've enjoyed this video and taking a look at all my recent pickups. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really helps and is always greatly appreciated. Thanks everyone, and may the Force be with you.